Yes, Divyesh, very good morning. We'll wait for a few minutes so others can join. And till the time, we'll go with the disclaimer. It is hereby declared that the production of the said content is meant for non-commercial, scholastic, and research purposes only. We admit that some of the content or the images provided in this channel's video may be obtained through the routine Google image searches, and few of them may be under copyright protection. Such usage is completely inadvertent. It is quite possible that we overlook to give full scholarly credit to the copyright owners. We believe that the non-commercial, only for educational use of the material may allow the video in question fall under fair use of such content. However, we honor the copyright holders' rights and the video shall be deleted from our channel in case of any such claim received by us or reported to us. So, students, yesterday we have done with the large scale industry, advantage and disadvantage of large scale industry. Apart from that, we have done with the basics of small scale industry and advantage and disadvantage of small scale industry. These are the topics that we have done in our last session. So, let's take a short recap for the same. You please read this out and have any doubts, please feel free to ask me. By the time we'll go to the next topic, that is the characteristics of small scale industries, and later on we'll go with the cottage industry. Cottage industry, types of cottage industry, importance of cottage industries, and so on. So in this session we'll go with the cottage industry and we'll complete it. So before we move to that point, let's have a short recap of the large scale industry, advantage and disadvantage of large scale industry, small scale industry, advantage and disadvantage of small scale industries, then characteristics of SSI, and so on. So we'll move with that. So this is the large scale industry that we have done in the last session. It includes automobile industry, it includes petrochemical industries, iron and steel industries, IT industries, textile industries, telecom industries, and so on. These are the points that we have discussed in the last session. Apart from that, we have done with the advantages of large scale industry, disadvantages of large scale industry. Then we have done with the small scale industries where the investment in fixed assets is not exceeding 100 lakh rupees. Then the disadvantage that we have discussed, danger of overproduction with the example of Morbi ceramic industry, less supervision, monopoly. As far as the monopoly is concerned, I would like to discuss two things that is related to the aviation sector. Aviation is also belongs to the large scale industry. In that we have discussed about the Boeing and Airbus, the two company duopoly in aviation sector. Then they are sharing 99% market share. Only two companies are sharing 99% market share. Then the next point is class struggle, struggle between employers and employees. Then dependence on foreign market is far high because in Indian market they will be having limited consumptions. So definitely they have to sell their products into the foreign markets. then possibility of war and lack of adaptability. Then small scale industry, the advantage of small scale industries like close supervision is possible, more employment, need of small capital, direct relation between the workers and employers, direct relationship between customers and producers, freedom of work, and less possibilities of strike. These are the advantage of small scale industries. Now moving to the disadvantage of small scale industries are high production cost, less use of machines, lack of division of labors, difficulty in getting loans, costly raw materials, old techniques or technologies, and lack of research. These are the disadvantages of small scale industries. Now we'll move to the next topic, that is examples and ideas of the small scale industries. So far everything is clear to you, class? Okay, thank you. So now the next topic, we can say that the thing that we are going to continue in this session is examples and ideas of small scale industries. The one who want to start the business with less investment, with less capital, they preferably choose small scale industry for their entrepreneurship. It can be like small bakery, it can be like a school stationery shop, it can be like selling of water of bottles, it can be like selling of books, bookstores, it can be like selling of goggles, leather belt, small toys, small production of the paper bags, a kind of photography and consultancy services, wedding events, event planners, beauty parlors. It can be any where the investment is less, risk is less, profit is also limited, and they do it by the necessity because they want to earn something. They want to earn their bread and butters, and that's why they start the small scale industries, or you can say the small scale enterprises. Now, let's see the characteristics of small scale industries. Characteristics of small scale industries started with the ownership. I am my own boss. This is my business and I am the boss of that business. So only single owner will be there. In majority of the small scale industry or small scale enterprises, majority it will be a proprietorship only, where a single person handles the entire unit internally as well as externally. So SSI is generally are under single ownership. In 90% plus cases, single proprietorship will be there. It can be either a sole proprietorship or sometimes a partnership, but partnership will be very much less. Sole proprietorship means only one owner is there. He is handling the entire business. He is handling internally as well as externally too. While partnership means where two or more partners are sharing their profit and loss, it will be considered as partnership. Investment is equally divided, and same time profit and loss will be equally divided too in partnership form. Then the management, generally both the management and the control is with the owners, or you can say with the owner only. Full control, full authority, full responsibility, everything will belongs to the management only, owners only. Owners will manage the entire things. Hence, the owner is actively involved in day-to-day activities of the business. Whatever the activities are there, it can be related to planning, organizing, staffing, directing, controlling, and so on. It can be related to the HR, marketing, finance, IT, production, logistics, supplies, and so on. So whatever the in-house and out-house activities are there, the business owner is directly involved in that. Then the labor intensive. Small scale industries dependence on technology is pretty limited. They are not using technology as much as the large scale industries are using. Not only that, but their main focus is on labor. It's a labor intensive industry where the laborers will be there and laborers will get employed and will be getting paid for the task that they have done. Hence, they tend to use the labor and manpower for their production activities. The use of manpower and labors will be high in SSI. Use of technology, use of machines will be less. So it will be considered as labor intensive industry. They will use machines, no doubt, but that machines will be like semi-automatic. They are not going to use the fully automatic machines. Then flexibility will be there. SSI are more adaptable to their changing business environment. If any sudden change is there, then SSI can easily adopt it. SSI is much flexible. SSI can change the environment very easily, and same time they will be also adopt the change environment very quickly because the investment is less. They are not using the fully automatic machines, so they can make certain changes in their operations, in their production lines, and so on. So they can adopt the change, they can adopt the latest environments. So in case of amendments or unexpected developments, they are flexible enough to adapt and carry on. They can easily adopt the environment, they can easily adopt the changes that took place in the environment. They are not stubborn, they are not rigid. In many cases, in certain cases, people are also very much rigid and stubborn. They are ready to lose everything, but they are not ready to become flexible. But while in the case of small scale industries, they are much flexible. They are much, ready to accept the change because they know what is good for them and they are ready to accept that change. While large scale industries cannot be that much flexible because they have invested a lot on fixed assets, on plant, on machineries, and they cannot, bear the loss in that. Then flexibility after that, limited reach is there. Small scale industries have a restricted zone of operations, hence they can meet their local and regional demand. No doubt, limited reach is there. If we consider it in positive way, then it's good. If you have to satisfy only a particular zone, only a particular region, then it will be very much good for you. You can easily target the selected mass. You can easily provide the things, provides the goods or services demanded by their particular region or zone. So it will be easier for small scale industries. They can easily provide, they can easily meet the local demand and local response. Then resource utilizations, they use local and readily available resources, which helps the economy fully utilize natural resources with minimum wastage. As they are going with some sort of labor intensive work, so definitely it will be again good. They are not using the fully automatic machines. So whatever the resources are available in the market, they will utilize it at optimum level. Optimum utilization of the resources will be there, and that's actually good. So wastage will be minimum, and they will also help, they will also contribute a lot to maintain the natural resources, while large scale industries are using resources like anything, natural resources like anything. For that, I would like to discuss one short case about Coca-Cola Rajasthan Kaladera. It is related to the packaging mineral water industry. Kinley, a product of Coca-Cola. In Rajasthan, one of the cities there named Kaladera. So Coca-Cola has started their packaging mineral water plant in that area, and they have consumed almost 95% groundwater from that area. And because of that, 70 small towns affected very adversely. So later on, Coca-Cola has to shut down that plant because they have utilized natural resources at extreme. That is not actually good, because whatever the natural resources are available with us, it is for all. It is not for a bigger company, or it is not restricted to the selected person or selected companies. So these are the, we can say, characteristics of SSI. Apart from that, what is the role of SSI in Indian economy? We have already discussed this, but then also again, maybe it's important for the exam point of view, so we are again going through it. The first one is employment. SSI is providing employment to the many people as compared to the large scale industry, because small scale industries are much labor intensive. They are not using fully automatic machines, they are using machines, but it may be, where the laborers use will be high, manpower will be required. So they are providing employment to the many as compared to the investment in fixed machineries, plant and machineries. SSI is providing more employability, more employment. Then the second one is total production. This enterprise account for almost 40% of the total production of goods and services in the India. No doubt it's a small one, but then also the contribution is really big one. The contribution is almost 40% of the total production of goods and services in India. They are one of the main reasons for the growth and strengthening of the economy. They are the pillars, because they are providing 40% contributions in the production, they are providing employability and all those things. They are there in the Make in India concept, Atmanirbhar, and all those. So Make in India is also a part of SSI only. You guys have seen that symbol of lion, Make in India concept, the new initiatives by Indian government. So SSI are the best example for the Make in India initiatives. They focus on the mission to manufacture in India and sell the products worldwide. You can sell it out of the country too, but what we expect that production should be there in India only. Make in India concept. This also helps create more demands from all over the world. Like, let me give you very basic examples. Few automobile industries are there, no doubt they are very small, investment is very less, but then also, Nicholas, what we are discussing right now, can you tell me what we are discussing right
Yes,
now?
sir.
We are discussing.
We are Indian economy. The
Okay,
role.
so have some patience, I will come to that point also. So have some patience for the same.
Yes.
So export contribution, Make in India, automobile sectors. Yes, we are talking about the automobile sectors. In Rajkot itself, there are many automobile industries that produce a very small part of the entire assembly line. They are producing, they are manufacturers of a very small or tiny part. But yes, then also they are contributing good. Then export contributions, the SSI also contribute a lot. India's export industry majorly relies on these small industries for their growth and development. Nearly half of the goods that are exported, listen carefully, nearly half of the goods that are exported from India are manufactured or produced by these industries, means small scale industries. So we can assume that they are contributing a good, as far as the employability generation is there, as far as the GDP is there, as far as export is there, as far as foreign currency is there, forex reserves are there, and at last, public welfare. These industries have an opportunity to earn wealth and create employment, and same time They are also play a vital role in the growth and development of the society. No doubt they are getting men, labors, materials, capitals, and all those things from the society itself, and they are giving it back to the society, whatever the profit they are earning, under the flagship of corporate social responsibility CSR, corporate social responsibilities. Now, as Nicholas is asking for the process and procedures for registration of SME or SSI, we'll come to that point directly. And after that, we'll move to the next one, that is cottage industry. Before we move to that, let me show you one real example. Udyog Aadhar, let me write here only. Udyog Aadhar is also what you can consider as registration of SME, that is small and medium enterprise or small scale industries. We'll share one certificate with you. Please be online. Plus, now you can see the registration process, the basic process for registration of your small and medium enterprise or small scale industrial unit. This is the basic process that I'm going to share. If you are unable to see or if you have any doubts, you can unmute yourself and speak. This is the basic process of registration of SME or small scale industries. Previously, if you talk about the early 2000 or even we can say up to 2010, people would like to go with the offline registration of their premises or of their industries. So online and offline, both the registration are available. You have to decide with which registration you would like to go. But now in this current era, in this current world, 99.90% applications are come with the help of online under the heading of ease of doing business initiatives taken by the central government. So online applications are invited for the same. So online and offline registration process are available. People will go with the online itself. So go online to SME registration website. You have to open the website. We'll share the entire process with you. Then register and log in to website. You have to create your own login ID for the registration of your unit. Then find the applications. The documents that required is your GST certificate, your PAN card, your Aadhaar card, and the proof of the address proof for the unit. It may be electricity bill, it may be government provided any proof for the same, it may be rent agreement and so on. Then submit the document and later on wait for the registration process to go through, and it will be available within half an hour. Yes guys, trust me, the process is so simple. Within half an hour your registration certificate will be in your hand in soft copy. Yes, but obviously in soft copy. And do you know what is the most important aspect for this? It's free of cost. Yes, you have heard it very right. It's free of cost. It is also considered as Udyog Aadhaar process, or we can say the registration for MSME, micro, small and medium enterprises. Now I'm going to show you one of the Udyog Aadhaar certificate, or you can say the SME registration certificate, where you will find many details, the things that we have discussed in past one or two session. Please be online. I am going to show it to you. Process is clear to you, class? This is the process. Online and offline registration are available. People go with the online. Go online to SME registration website, register and log into website. Make your own login ID and password, user ID and password. File the application, upload the documents, Aadhaar card, PAN card, electricity bill, rent agreement and GST certificates, plus your passport size photograph. These are the documents that you need to submit. Then later on the process will take place, and within half an hour your certificate will be in your hand in soft copy. Any doubt for this process, class? Okay, thank you. So now I'm going to share the actual registration certificate with you guys. Please be online. This is the certificate, or you can say Udyog Aadhaar MSME, micro, small and medium enterprises, Sukshma, Laghu or Madhyam Udyam Mantralay, Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, provided by the Government of India. Here they have divided type of enterprises. If it is micro manufacturing, then A, small will be considered as B, medium will be considered as C. Then depends on the services, what type of services you are providing. For micro, it will be considered as D. They have highlighted it under sub-headlines. In small, it will be considered as E. In medium, it will be considered as F. Now, micro, small and medium will be decided by the amount that you invest in the fixed plant and machineries. This is Udyog Aadhaar certificate, or even you can say the Udyog Aadhaar memorandum. Aadhaar number, if it is available, if you have submitted the Aadhaar number. Otherwise, PAN card number, name of entrepreneur, social category of entrepreneur, it's a general. Then gender will be male, physically handicapped no, Name of enterprise S27 Multi Cuisine Restaurant. Type of organization sole proprietorship, or you can say the proprietary. These are the details that you need to fill up. Then location of plant or details for the same. This is the address, city, pin number, state and district. Official address of the enterprise, then mobile number, your pin number, email ID, date of commencement, on which date you have started your business, then previous registration details if any, then you have to submit the bank details, then in particular which category your business belongs. The major activity will be related to food and beverages, then restaurant and mobile food services activities, and restaurant without bars, because this is dry state. Gujarat is dry state, so bars are not allowed, and if it is allowed, then you have to take extra permissions for that. Then person employed 9, investment plant and machinery equipments 20 lakh rupees, and district industry center is Rajkot. So this is the Udyog Aadhaar certificate, or we can say the certificate of registration. This is the original one. Is it okay, class? Yes, class. Is it okay? Have you seen the certificates? Okay, good. So now, if you want to register your unit, then we'll show you the process. The process is quite easy. Google Baba is there. Now you can see the MSME registration. Type MSME registration in Google. The first one, Udyam registration, zero cost, no fee and free registration. This is the official website for that, udyamregistration.gov.in, government.in. Click on that. It's government website, so definitely it will take some time. They have added this one, buy from MSME, under the heading of Make in India and Atmanirbhar concept. For that, for new entrepreneurs who are not registered yet as MSME, or those with EM2, means already registered but now they want to upgrade it. So now click on this for new entrepreneurs, because we want to register it first time. So you have to enter your class. Is it visible to you? Class, the website is visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
So you have to enter your Aadhaar number and your name as per the Aadhaar. Then validate and generate the OTP will be there. The OTP will be on your mobile number which you have registered in the process of Aadhaar number, UID. Then you can validate and generate the OTP. The process is quite easy. Then the next form will be there where you have to write down your organization name, how many employees are there, date of commencement, then bank account, in which bank, bank account numbers, and few other details that I have already shown you in the certificate. And once you submit all the details, it will be done. It will be done within 5 to 10 minutes. So entire process will take only 30 minutes. So this is how you can register your business, or we can say the registration process for SME or SSI. Is it clear, class? Some sort of practicality we have done in this point. So I think it's clear now. Nicholas.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anybody having any doubts related to registration process of SME. Okay, good. So now we'll move to the next one. Please be online. Please write down your name and enrollment number in the chat box. Okay, so now we'll move to the next one, that is cottage industry. Cottage industry is a concentrated form of small scale industry that can be started with very low investment. The amount, or you can say the investment required in cottage industry is quite less, even less as compared to the investment that required in small scale industries. Cottage industry is generally unorganized. It's always unorganized, and the production of goods takes place in the house of laborers using conventional methods. They are not using machines at all. And even if they are using, then the use of machines is quite less, very less. The cottage is known, you can say in other words, like related to the khadi, related to the the clothes and all those things. The cottage industry is also basically known as the khadi, textile mills and few other things. But here the art and crafts work will be there and few others. Woven industries will be there. The cottage industry has its origin in rural areas where unemployment and underemployment are prevalent. This is with special reference to the rural area where employment issues were quite high. Majority of the population in rural area are unemployed, and for the upliftment of that rural area only, the government has provided certain benefits to the cottage industry, and they tried a lot to promote the cottage industry. It helps the Indian economy by involving the other employed workforce of rural area. At initial stage, if you talk about after the 1991 and early 2000 and even late 2000, the rural area is yet not developed like the urban and semi-urban areas development. So for the development of those area, government has come up with these points. Now let's see the types of cottage industries in the India. The first one is cotton weaving. If you have seen Mahatma Gandhi's picture, ratio, they are doing some sort of production with the help of ratio. If you have seen that, so it's under the portion of cottage industry, where the clothes are there, when the cottons are there, it will be considered as cottage industry. Cotton weaving industry, it is the most important cottage industry in India as cotton clothes are widely worn across the country, and no doubt Khadi Gramodyog Bhandar, under this tagline, under certain headings, government are selling Khadi clothes. It is mainly concentrated in Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu and Gujarat. The vibrant color, traditional designs, variety of pattern increases the demand for cotton clothes in the country. After 2014, yes, we can say after 2014, the use of khadi and the use of khadi clothes has been increased drastically, because our Prime Minister and once upon a time our CM Narendra Modi ji has promoted it like anything. So the vibrant color, traditional designs, variety, and all those things has demanded khadi into the latest trend. Then the second one is silk weaving. Silk is another type of the khadi itself. So India is a major producer and exporter of silk. 70% of the total silk weaving industries is situated in Karnataka. Karnataka. Mulberry, Tessore, Muga and Eri are the different types of silk products in the India. And in that, the mulberry is the costliest one. If you guys have heard the name, basically the local students, Indian students have heard the name of patoda. Patoda is also under this industry only, cottage industry. Patanana patoda, we guys have heard these things. A kind of sari that people are using to wear during some events, functions and all those things. But costliest one. It requires, if you go with that original patoda, then it requires 2 to 3 months time to prepare it, and it will cost more than 1 lakh rupees. It started with the 50,000 to 5 lakh rupees plus. So mulberry, tasso, muga and eri are the different types of silk produced in the country. In that, mulberry is the costliest one. Then carpet making, the carpet which we are using in our home, it also belongs to the cottage industry. The origin of the carpet making industry dates back to the Mughal era. It is mainly founded in Kashmir, Rajasthan, Punjab, UP, Andhra Pradesh, and again Punjab. Kashmiri carpet, daris, and core carpet are in great demand owing to its superior quality and texture. You will be amazed if you see the certain carpets that the emperors are using in their palaces and all other places. It's a great carpet, and it can be last in Jaipur. Yes, if you go to Jaipur, then you will find the separate museum for carpet, and it's really good one. You should visit that museum. It's there in Jaipur. You should visit it. Carpet museum. It's really very good one. You will find lots of variety in those carpets, and still it is there. The Carpet Export Council has been set up by the Indian government for promoting the knotted rugs and various other types of floor covering from across the country. And you guys will not believe, but yes, we are exporting our carpets, and we are very good in that. But yes, nowadays it will be converted into the machine used business where people are making carpets with the use of machines. Then the leather work. The regions of India famous for leather productions are Tamil Nadu, West Bengal, and Uttar Pradesh. India is the major supplier of high quality leather and meets around 10% of the global leather demand. See, now the students have started to come in the last 10 minutes for the attendance purpose. Then the metal works. Indian metal handicrafts are appreciated worldwide, and it is a major contributor to the Indian economy. So this is all about the cottage industry and types of cottage industry. In next lecture, we'll go with the challenges faced by Indian cottage industry. So far, what are the things we have done? Is it clear to you, class? Okay, done. Good. Thank you. So we'll keep up to this only. In next session, we'll go with the challenges faced by cottage industry and few other points that is related to the industrial sickness, symptoms of industrial sickness, how we can overcome from the industrial sickness, and so on. So in the next session, we'll done with our. It is already there, Jackson. I have already uploaded the question bank. Please check your portal. Please check the classroom. It is already there. So next time, before asking, at least confirm it by your side. I have already uploaded the same before 3 to 4 days, and same I have announced in the class and verified the same with few students that yes, it is uploaded in the classroom. So please check it out and check your classroom portal every day. So later on you take care before asking any questions. This is the things that I write, ancillary and tiny industry. In next session, everyone is supposed to come up with the definition of ancillary and tiny industry. It's a very short one, maybe take 2 minutes only, not more than that, but we'll discuss on it. Ancillary and tiny industry. So we'll keep up to this only. That's it for the day. Thank you so much, class. You may leave now. What was your question, Brian? Is mulberry from silkworms? I have no idea about that because I am not belongs to that industry. Is it answered now?